Hello, friends. So, NIV, Luke 21, just two verses, 34 and 35. We're going to get a little bit into what is before that. If you wanted to read for yourself, start at 25 and then go down to 35. But we're also going to talk a little bit of science and a little overlay of what something is. 34. So, be careful, or your hearts will be weighed down with dissipation, drunkenness, and the anxieties of life. And that day will close on you unexpectedly like a trap, for it will come upon all those who live on the face of the whole earth. Okay, so he's talking about Armageddon, essentially, beforehand. Now, Armageddon. And then what really gets me there is that, because I don't really want to go into Revelations and all that kind of stuff with you guys, is the dissipation. Do you know what dissipation is? Dissipation is like when you have a lot of something and then it sort of gets spread out. Like a poof of smoke where it just falls all over the place. Generally happens with air or water, but can happen with energy. Okay, energy can be dissipated because energy is a constant, right? Electrons are constant. They can be neither created nor destroyed. They merely change shape. And each of us has an electrical impulse that runs through us, a consciousness that is within us. That energy, that consciousness, that collection of electrons is really what makes you you. Your matter vessel is a matter vessel. The vessel will break down and absorb into the earth, and the energy of that stuff will get consumed back into the world the way that all things in nature, because you are of nature, you will go back to being in nature. It's the electrical impulses that is your soul, that is your consciousness, that doesn't stay with the vessel. It's got to release to go someplace. Why does that matter in the state of this? So there's two different, I'm going to give you the science part first. Eventually, every sun goes supernova. That's the reality of the solar systems. That's the reality of matter-based reality. We're about to see it. You're about to see what happened. Something that actually happened in 1375 up in the sky. They're predicting any time now. There's beetle guys is what they call it. Most people just call it Beetlejuice. Me too, because I can't even help it. It's just the way it's spelled. And it's the shoulder in Orion's constellation. It's not the side where the arrow is on, it's in the other side. And pretty soon, instead of a star there, we're going to see like it's a strawberry nebula, it's called. So it's going to look like pink and, reddish, and it's going to like look all floofy around where there used to be a star. But that actually exploded in 1375. That's a different kind of science, so we're not going to go into that either. That's not my science, so I read the articles the same as anybody else. That's how I know those things. So what'll happen when our sun goes supernova, which last I checked was still billions and billions of years away. So not something that's going to affect you right here, right now. There will be warnings from scientists that will likely go ignored because, that's usually what happens in this plane of existence, before that comes to be, okay? But what will happen is the sun has so many nuclear reactions going inside of it, more than we are capable of producing here on Earth. We can't even contemplate the power, the raw energy that is in the sun, because the size of it is too big for the human brain to really comprehend in scale. But really, everything in existence, everything in the Milky Way, all of it, gets exploded out into it, and everything is broken down into its molecular shape. You will be individual molecules. So you will no longer be you, because you will be individual molecules. And when those molecules come back together, because they do, in any form of organic chemistry, eventually molecules that are spread out will find other things to glom onto and become, isomers and compounds and all kinds of, because that's the building blocks of humanity, and it just wants to be combined. It doesn't care to what. It only cares if it's, got the right kind of, if it can bond with it or it can't. Does it have the right number of electrons? Can we be friends? right? Is really what it's looking to do. They're looking to share electrons is really what it is. They kind of come a little codependent on other things. So they like glom onto things. So you will be pieces of you, the table. I'm pointing out things that are around me. I'm sitting at a table, my cell phone, my cup of coffee, the candle that's lit next to me, the Bible that's open in front of me. You would become pieces of anything and everything that happens to be standing near you when the sun goes supernova. You will be in a state of dissipation. That is really what's going to happen. So don't let the anxieties of when something is going to end, particularly the world, because that's the last thing you should be worrying about. Because if the world's going to end, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Anything that you're worrying about that there's nothing you can do to make any better is just a brain spinny hole that's just going to suck you down into nothingness, that it's going to make it so that you're not ready. He wants you to stay ready. So your soul has a place in heaven, so your consciousness has a place to be. Staying ready is about how you conduct your daily life. Do you conduct your daily life where you're focused on positivity, you have good intentions towards yourself and others? Because if something is good for you, but it's bad for others, then it's not an alignment, and you're not staying ready. The right answer is good for a bunch of people. Multiple peoples, hopefully for all peoples. Good is a loose definition, which I'm not going to try to get into here. Don't be jerks to people today, please. Please remember that trying to forget about life, or trying to forget about, if you're in places where you gotta drink in order to forget your behavior or something, then you're in the wrong place. If you have to do anything to make you forget something you did, then that is a place, that is a cry for help. That is a place to go get the help that's around you. It's a place that you're out of alignment and you're going down the wrong path. It's easier to go make your apologies and to, get the help you need so you can correct yourself. Anybody who really cares about you anyway, when you correct yourself, they'll be happy to hear it, because they've been standing there waiting for you to be the better version of you this whole time anyway.